In this video, I'll demonstrate how a CSV file can be used to import large batches of DXF files, bring them into IGEMS, make parts out of them, and then put them into the organizer module. If you're not familiar with the organizer module, IGEMS has a couple of nice videos on their YouTube page. So go to YouTube, search for IGEMS, and then on their page, you can just search for organizer. And there's a video about the parts organizer that we'll be looking at, as well as the sheets organizer, which is a little bit newer. If you want to test this out, you can download files that we need from our ikulu.wordjet.com page. So you can go here, ikulu.wordjet.com, and then if you click into this search Ikulu Wiki box here, just type in letter I. IGEM should be the first thing that comes up here. If it doesn't, then you may not be able to get to where we need to go, but you can contact me and I can email you the files that you would need. Basically go down to 5.15 CSV to organizer, and you can click on this link here, which will bring you to a Google Drive location, and you can download this as a zipped folder. And you'll want to save that into your shared folder under the apps subdirectory. And then once that's downloaded, you can extract that. So right click and extract, and we'll put that under apps. So you've done that, there'll be this CSV to organizer folder. You go into there, this is the LISP file that does the conversion, reads that CSV file, goes out, grabs the DXF files. There's a subdirectory here that's got sample CSV file as well as some sample DXF files. Let's take a look at what is in a typical CSV file. And your columns may vary depending on what sort of information that you want to bring into IGEMS, but these would be kind of a typical example where you have a column that's got part name, column of where that DXF file is located, a column for the material. This column here, standard, just tells it that we're using the IGEMS standard version of that material. Got a column here for thickness. All these parts are in millimeters, so you want to make sure that IGEMS is in millimeters if you're going to be doing this. Quantity column, you can have things like a due date column. Got a column here that could be like PO number or customer identifier or something like that. We've got columns here that have default qualities, outside, inside, other. And if you have both water only and abrasive machines, you might have a column that specifies whether the file is for the water only or the abrasive machine. So that's a sample CSV file. And let's go to IGEMS. So we will want to be in millimeters. So if you're in inch mode, just click down here, switch to millimeters. And then we'll make sure that we have the material in our material database that is in that CSV file. So we are going to add a material in here to match that CSV file material. So we're going to add a material called PE white 2.2 pound, and okay. So we've got that. And we are going to add our new app onto our apps tab. So go to your apps tab, click on load app, click on add. Should bring you to the apps folder in that shared folder. Go into the CSV to organizer subdirectory, double click on that. And if you want, you can also add an image to the toolbar. And I'm going to go to organizer for a moment. So if we go into organizer and we click on this little gear here, display tab has all the standard columns that are available in organizer. User variables can be used to add any additional columns that we have in our CSV file that aren't defaults or normal columns in organizer. So for example, we had that due date field, which if we look at the LISP file and scroll down a bit here, there's an area where we set up those any new columns. So in this, we've also got a column here called note, which isn't actually in the CSV file that we're using, but here's where we're setting up a column for due dates. So we're going to want to add that into Organizer. So to do that, on this user variables, click on add, type in the name. It is not case sensitive. And this is a date field, and okay, so we got that on there. We can click on close. And we will go ahead and close this for now. And we should be good to bring in our file. So back to our apps tab, start our CSV to Organizer app. And we're going to use our water only machine. Click on OK. Go into that sample DXF directory, CSV, double click on the CSV file. So it goes through and grabs those DXF files, makes parts out of them, and then puts them into the organizer. So now if we go back to Organizer, got those 7 DXF files that we just brought in, made parts out of them, got the different thicknesses here. Down here at the bottom, you got different filters or views that you can use depending on what sort of information that you want to show here. These ones that have this asterisk beginning and end, those are default ones that can't be modified or saved if you do modify them. So we're going to make a new view here. We'll click on this. I'm just going to call this new view for lack of a better name. And then you can add different additional columns. So if I click on the edit button here, I can choose if I want that due date column to be visible. Any of these other columns. Let's see, quantity, we can choose machine, produced, etc. And you can also change the order of the columns. So if you want the due date field or whatever somewhere else, you can drag it around. This date column here is the date that you brought the files in. So if that's, for example, something that you don't care to see, you can come into here and you can turn that one off to be that one. And once you got the way you like it, click on save. I should mention you can also use this filter tab here if you want to filter by things like due date or thickness or something like that, but that's something we'll get into in a different video. We'll go ahead and save what we've got here. So if we go to this one and toggle back, we'll see we've still got those columns there, so that's all well and good. So at this point, we're probably ready to nest some parts. We can go ahead and close this. And since we're doing 20 millimeter, we'll go ahead and nest some of those 20 millimeter parts. Go to our nest tab, click on auto, select parts. We don't have any. We're just going to hit enter. Select sheets. We don't have any on the screen. We're going to hit enter. And down here, we have an icon we can click on to open up Organizer. And we can use this little magnifying glass here if we want to filter things down, if we don't already have some filters set up. And we want all those, so click on the checkbox and then insert and insert. And we'll give it a sheet size. Yeah, why not? And then nest. And we'll stop and okay. And we'll put our toolpaths on there. Set our 0, point. So once you've cut this, to let Organizer know that these are done, you can use the register icon here. It'll prompt to select parts, select that, hit enter, and quantity produced 16 and 4, click on register. And that now shows us that these parts are done. And so that's a little overview of how a CSV file can be used to bring in large batches of DXF files. If you're interested in using this, you can contact me and I can help you out. Thanks.